So introduce you guys to Moss Adams. First off, if you want to go to the next slide, Thomas. So I'm an assurance manager. I do, I help businesses maintain their financial statement compliance with accounting standards. But Moss Adams is a large organization. We're called a super regional accounting firm. We're mainly on the West Coast. But for this meeting, I want you guys to and Thomas put some links at the virtual announcements page that you guys can see, and this is one of those page links that he added, the COVID-19 implications. So there's a lot of noise going on, a lot of changes happening, and we talked a little bit about that at the beginning when everybody signed on, and we're updating the page as things progress. But we're really here to help you guys, to advise and help companies. And so some of the areas that we do help in is that we help renewable energy companies. I'm in the technology company space. So actually one of those is payment processing. I have a payment processing client. We also do outsourced accounting, which is really important at this time in everybody's business life, trying to move over from where they were working at the office to now virtual. And our outsourced accounting group they've always been doing that. They've helped companies get there, and they do it for them as well, build those tools up. And all of this information is on that COVID-19 page. If you guys have any questions that we don't get into during the discussion today. And also, of course, tax. Can't go anywhere without taxes. So that's there as well. So wanted to highlight some of the links that we have on that COVID-19 implication page. And I talked about some of them. And I'll go through some of the to-dos in a little bit. The to-dos that I have, and I'm sure all of you are all working similarly to what I'm doing. But one thing I wanted to highlight is moving your accounting systems to the cloud and moving your accounting team to remote working relationship with you. And so I've added a couple links to the slide deck to help you do that. And then the budget template, which I'll get into as part of my to-dos on the next slide. So first off, things just kind of happened. Here we are, and we're all sitting at home. And who would have thought a month ago it would have been like this? But as the flight attendant on your flight always says, worry about your own oxygen mask, or in this case, face mask first, and then move on to those around you. So make sure that you're in a good spot, that your financial house is in order, or your house is actually in order. I know for at least my house, I've got 4 kids, and all of a sudden we're homeschooling them all at once and trying to figure that out, and things can get a little crazy. So make sure that that's in place first, and then you go from there. Work out to your team, work on connecting with them. They're going to be in the same position. Hopefully some of the things that you learned as you were transitioning to getting your house in order can be used to help them. Moss Adams internally, we've got a lot of people, and usually we're very used to working in teams and working together with each other. So we've moved to a lot of these video conferencing meetings. We use WebEx and phone calls and emails and instant messenger to connect with our team and make sure that everybody's doing okay, that they have what they needed to get their work done. And then move on from there and go, hey, how do I take care of my business? How do I take care of my cash flow? How do I assess for the shortages that I'll have in cash flow in order to pay my employees? And so then you turn to the CARES Act and turn to that main web page that we have for COVID-19 implications. So I think a lot of us have probably set up in our lives some habits, ways to structure what we do that we shouldn't have to spend a whole lot of time thinking about. So we structure that brushing our teeth, combing our hair, um, whatever it might be, and we package it into a habit, and we put it off to the side, and our brain kind of automates that. And all of those habits that we may have had are now either shifted to the house or just thrown out the window. So it's good while we're in this area to build good habits, so that we can automate those small portions of our life, that we can move it out of the way and focus our thoughts more on important things. So our business. So once we get those good habits in place, I don't know, Thomas, you're handling the slides?
Yeah, sure. Let me give you control to it so that you can. There.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So after you make the good habits, which could be, personal, uh, business, whatnot, then you can move on to planning for the future. So, and that this time is also a really good time now that your old working method has shifted to maybe improve and get better, so that when we do happen to get out of this, then you're starting off on a better foot than when you went in, which is a great time to do it. Everything's up in the air. So, go for a walk tonight, maintain your social distance, but go for a walk tonight. And if you don't have an exercise regimen, then work one in while you can, and build that good habit. So this might be old hat for many of you guys that have businesses that are ongoing, but planning for the future often includes budgeting. And many businesses have a budget in place and they work toward that budget. Right now is a good time to reassess that budget or put one in place if you don't already have one. So we have a really simple spreadsheet to get businesses going in the first place. And I know, Kian, you probably have one as well that you help your businesses work through. And Thomas has included that in one of the links at the virtual announcements page. But there we go. So probably too much for us to go through during this discussion, but just something for you guys to think about. Budgeting and planning right now is key in order for us to come out of this better than when we went in. So take a look at your budgets, reassess those, work out what your unknowns are, what your knowns are, focus on your unknowns, and try to, so like, if you're applying for a PPP loan or a different SBA loan, the EIDL loan, then you have that set aside, and then you worry. You also know about your knowns. How many employees you have, who you got to take care of, what those are going to cost, and work toward getting that budget in a good spot. And all of this is in addition to all the other crazy stuff that's happening in your life. So hopefully, if you do have questions, you can reach out to Moss Adams. So we have that page that you guys can go to and learn about resources that you have. You can ask us questions there. Reach out to Thomas and Gary or Brian or any of the CleanStart people, and we can help you find where you need to go. So that's my to-dos. I don't know if anybody have any questions for me or where we go from here.
So
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. There's all the resources that you have here. Feel free to connect or ask me for anyone's contact if you forget about it. Additional thanks to our sponsors, which also includes Moss Adams, who Mark Humbert was gracious enough to talk with us. And there's a whole lot of stresses right now with I think over 30% of the economy, a contraction of the economy in 2 weeks. I think it's something like at that time like $300 billion of just stop working stuff. It's unprecedented, but I think there's going to be a lot of ways that everyone can adjust and come out stronger from this. Thank you. And any final comments, Gary?
Yeah, the one with Karen Harding, UC Davis and their Big Bang has a lot of stuff now up on their archive and their training sessions, so she'll be going through that and showing you how to use that as a learning opportunity. One of the potential silver linings of having this extra time at home now. But big thanks to Mark Humbert for joining us on this, and Brian, you too. You added a lot of information. And so we'll hope to turn this around in a video for the rest of the community. Tell everybody that these are available. We're trying to expand the number that we're reaching with this. And because they're recorded, you can always go back and listen to things from prior sessions. So Thomas, thanks so much for setting all this stuff up and for everybody joining and helping out. It was a great discussion today.
I'll put